And it tells us that we are live, and it says we are live. So
Hi.
how exciting. And I am over the moon to be introducing the lovely Susan Skyring to today's Illuminating Conversations. So if you are here watching us, please say hello. If you are joining us live, if you've got any questions, please just put them in the comments, and we love to interact with our audience as well. So I have met Susan a couple of months ago, and we have both discovered that we have lots of things in common around spirituality, around, and particularly with Susan, all things natural. And I think that's what the beautiful connection is. So I'm here, or we are both here today, with the aim to inspire other people to take the step into courage to create the change that you need in your life. So Susan has produced, have you got your cards there? Because I've got some cards here.
Hello, everyone.
So hello and welcome. And so Susan's got some beautiful cards, and I'm going to, that she has designed, and she does works with Feng Shui. She works with, I don't know, lots and lots of different things. And I'm going to be looking forward to hearing more about Susan during this interview. So I know about this much, but I reckon there might be this much that Susan can share with us. So Susan, would you like to share a bit of, your journey of what led you down this path, and what does courage mean to you, and how do you work with people? So I'm just going to hand the floor to you.
Thank you.
You can share your vision.
Thank you for inviting me too, Kay. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure.
We got thrown together here in Tasmania, didn't we? It was just
one
of those
we did.
Where something calls, and that's where it ends up. So lovely to meet you and to learn all about your beautiful Young Living oils, which is how we came together, wasn't it?
Yes, it's exactly, because you came to one of my workshops and met, and immediately fell in love with the oils. And I love, anyway, you can share your story about why you came.
So you want a bit of my background, and
give some background, and we can move into that part of the journey
now. So I've got lots to share of the journey. It might take us a while, so I'll just try and just bring a few things in that. Yeah, so as a child, I had a great childhood growing up on a dairy farm in southeast Queensland. That was where nature really called me, because my early influences of being able to connect to the nature spirits and realizing that spirit can communicate with us through everything that's living and in a form here on our beautiful planet Earth. So my childhood was happy. I had really great supportive parents and family that so I had a really good country upbringing, and it wasn't until sort of the teens hit that things start to change, but I always felt there was a presence with me, and my earliest memory of connecting to that presence was as a child, and I had I was communicating with spirit, and that's the imaginary friends that a lot of people talk about that they had when they were kiddies, but mine were a little bit stronger than that. And I can remember thinking not everyone's actually picking this up, so once I realized that at about the age of 7, that things you sort of hold back a little bit, but you still got that connection. So I wrote a couple of things down here. I guess that was my childhood, and there was times when I knew spirit was talking to me, and I listened, and I can remember telling my mother things and she'd say, no, that's not going to happen. And then it would happen. And, my brother would say, who are you talking to? And I'd realize that he didn't know what was happening for me while we were playing, so, but I was never afraid. I always felt just like there was a loving presence always with me. And when I was about 18, I remember sitting with my grandmother. She'd just moved into a nursing home, and spirit was talking loud to me again at that point. And I remember her tapping me on the leg. This is in the 70s. I had the cheesecloth dress on, and she said, you should have a petticoat on, dear. And and then she said to me,
those days.
I remember saying to her, about spirit. And she said, don't worry, they sit on my bed and talk to me as well. And she'd never said that to me. And it was a real changing point. And it was before she passed. She was in her 70s. And, it just gave me that confidence to, well, there's something more here that I need to do with this, and it was always calling me in some way. So started to listen a little bit more. But then from then on, I went up and got married. I had 4 beautiful sons that I gave birth to. And then I brought up a couple of beautiful stepdaughters that I love very much as well. Right through until my 30s, I was sort of motherhood and, learning whatever I could in the way of reading books that were personal development, for me spiritually, from about the 30s to the 40s. I'm going to try and just, concise this down a bit.
You don't have to do too much detail.
So probably, 30s, I started learning all about the mind, body, spirit, and started to do modalities. I think I had my first trip to India and sat at the feet of gurus in my 30s. And from 40 onwards, I was doing, I did personal training, I did massage therapy, I did Feng Shui consulting after that. But while I was doing the massage therapy was when spirit really came in and started to, people ended up booking in and saying, can I have that other stuff that you do as well, which was the clairvoyance and the bringing messages through. And it was then, I spent time out in the desert. Someone gave me some tarot cards and I sat in the desert getting the messages. I didn't sort of go to the books. I just let spirit bring the messages to me. And it was during that time that I started reading full time. And that's 25 years ago, that I was doing that. So I've been on this journey full time, doing workshops, developing, working with the energy. Feng Shui came because I knew there was something environmentally that we had to bring into the concepts of personal development and awareness, the spiritual development. The environment played such a big part in how we resolved our life, So the Feng Shui helped with the outer world work and the clairvoyance and the inner work. The personal development worked with our inner being. So bringing the two together was really important to me. That we can do all the inner work, and if we're living in an environment that's not supporting us, or there's blockages in that area in the energy and flow of our environment, then once we get that lined up, then we've got a good chance of resolving and what we've come to learn about. So that's sort of it in a nutshell, I guess. I'm now in Tassie 4 years, a bit over 4 years now, and it's been a journey of coming back to myself more fully, just being away from the crowds and establishing. And of course, I knew I had to come here, but I didn't know why. But once I got here, I knew why, because we had the pandemic hit, and during that time, Spirit was talking to me that I had to get messages out to people to support really heavily through that time. And that was, I did 2 years of what I call the In the Know subscription page, where I carried a lot of subscribers through that time that joined. And it's only just in the last few months that I've stopped that. I'm now down to monthly forecasts instead of daily ones. So so that's where I'm at now. And I know I need to include a bit more essence into this, and that's why I was drawn to come and see you, Kay, to see this. Essential oils has always been there since I was, looking after my kids. I remember, I wish I knew a bit more about these essential oils. They feel so good. They heal. They bring, they bring that inspiration out of nature to us when we can't always get into nature. And so it was time. You popped up. I think I was, focused on it, or I was getting messages, find a way to bring the essential oils into your life now. And another reason that came to me was living in Tasmania was so different to living in Queensland, that, you have your doors and windows and everything open in Queensland. And so you can burn things like sage and, incense. And I've always done that and used to clear. But in Tasmania, through the winter months, we close down, and everything gets closed up. So the humidifiers and what we can use that way can become quite powerful healing tools as well. So that's my life now, is just bringing in as much as I can offer to people, that it will serve that well-being and our new vibration that we're now all matching with. We know
Yes.
we're here doing this, so that just feels right.
I love that, and I love what we both have in common when you were saying, those messages of, bringing in the oils, and that was, I call them divine nudges, and I
Yeah.
think we need to listen to those divine nudges, and it was my divine nudges that inspired me to get a bundle of oils, which is what now that I love to promote people, or give that offering to other people, with the idea that I know what a difference it made in my life. And I think we're all looking for, or particularly, as you say, over the last couple of years, our life's kind of been picked up and turned around, and we've been put through the ringer, so to speak, and we all need to have a strength within ourselves, I believe. And I don't think that, and I think that's something that we have to build on. We need to give ourselves that nourishment of whatever it is that supports us. So through meditation, through your work, through sitting in the garden, like what you're talking about, the nature spirits. And I'd love to know. I'd love you to delve a little bit deeper into that if you feel up to it, because I think some people have that natural ability to tune in. I think we all do, but I think to varying degrees. I don't know. I'd love to know more about your journey, but I think it is that thing of, we are really in time, and in a time where we need to get clear on things and get clear on what's meaningful to us in life. Because, at the end of the day, we can have lots of money, we can have the nicest house that we live in, but if we aren't energetically aligned within ourselves with the spirit, that puts us out of kilter as well. So, would you like to share just a little bit more about your messages you get from spirit, how that works? Do you feel comfortable?
Well, I just hand myself over. So, the word channel has been used, knocked around for a long time, but I think we're all channels. We all, absorb energy, and it can be positive or negative that's happening around us. But I guess from about my 40s, trust became so powerful in me that I just, because just to come on a show like this, you need trust, and just to be spontaneous, you need trust. Otherwise, you're sitting there in a nervous, fearful state or a doubtful state. And I think that's what it was always there as a child. You're innocent, you're so innocent, and you haven't, hopefully you've lived a lot, your early stages haven't been too fearful, that you haven't already, shut down a bit to, living life open. But as we go through life, lots of things happen to us, and it's coming back to meet yourself. As if you do have a lot of things happen to you and you form beliefs, it's an unraveling of that again as you become more and more spiritually aware, and use the word awaken, or live more consciously. And that's what we're moving into now, is out of the unconscious and into a conscious awareness. And for me, the consciousness is what speaks through me. It's not me personally, the personal identity, Susan, the personality who who has attitude and everything else that comes with our personalities, but it's when I sit for a client that I just totally hand myself over, and I get out of the way. And that's what I've developed, an ability to trust and get out of the way, so that the consciousness can come through in a more powerful way. Of course, there's going to be days when I'm not, as light as I'd like to be, depending on what's going on in my personal life. But mostly that trust is where it comes from. So I could be feeling terrible and then sit and hand over, and I'm just in that state of awareness for people. So I guess, is that explaining it to you, Kay? Is that
No, I think that's great. And I love the idea that, you talked about trust. I know when I said to you, "Oh, Susan, do you want to come on and let's have an interview?" And you were tentative, but you were
Yeah,
prepared
what am I doing?
uh, prepared to step into some courage. And I'm not sure whether we've got some comments
I'm
coming
just
through.
having a look here. I can see Sonia was keen to get on. Hi, Sonia. Thank you for taking the
So,
time to jump on too. I haven't seen you for a long time. She's a dear
that's great. So, and
friend.
thank you everyone who is joining us either on this. We are live into Facebook and my YouTube, and we will be downloading this, so there'll be listeners up the track on my. Well, I haven't actually announced yet, but this will be on a radio show, Mint Radio, up the track. So I'm very excited because I think for me, it was probably 3 years ago. It was early 2000. Actually, it was probably 2019. I think I started my online presence, and I felt nervous, and it was like, oh my gosh, who am I to do this? What am I doing? But there was that thing of, I was being directed, I was being led, and we've got to follow those nudges and put aside that I'm not good enough, or because I think we've all got something to give and something to share. And my
Mm,
mission is to say to everybody who's listening, we've all got something, lessons we've learnt. We've all got that heart and that inner presence that we can share and make a difference in the life of others. And my goal is to sort of expand this community as time goes on, and make sure that, you are all living your life to the fullest. Now, what I love about you, Susan, is if I'm hearing right, you didn't have a big catalyst. Like for me, I had, many years of my, trauma that I had to climb out of, to put myself back together, to put myself into, the person who I am today. And that was quite a journey. Whereas you had a lot of this knowing when you were really young, and it seems to me like you just you followed your courage, and you didn't ever give up on that inner work, or that your connection to spirit. Would that be
mm.
right? So,
So are you asking me, did I have any traumas?
do you think? What do you? No, I'm really asking. No, not so much. Did you have any traumas? But it's like you have listened to those nudges, or those, or
Yeah.
you've had that knowing, and it seems to me like you've been working with that as like from very early in your
Yeah,
life.
yeah, but I certainly had my challenges, and I can remember, you know, at different times, really quite powerful phenomena happening for me where, it got loud, and in terms of communication with guides and the path forward that I had to take. And, that was hard at times because it affected other people as well. But I had to meet myself fully, to know that I wasn't all of these personalities, that there's something that we're all a spark of this consciousness, and consciousness is calling all of us to now to wake up, and to live more with compassion, less winning and losing, less judgment, less fear and doubt. So resolving all of those belief systems takes us there, and I understand that now, but I had to go through a lot to, divorce and all of the things that come with it, and readjusting children through the traumas of their adults, what they'd had witnessed and taken on to in their belief systems. And to this day, I'm still, working that in that energy too, to look at the buttons that get pressed, and how can we resolve, how collectively, so that collectively we all wake up together. It's not about anyone being left behind, but everyone will be at a different stage in their awakening process. So, the tools that I've gathered is what I, believe I have to use them, because that's what I'm here for,
I
until,
love that.
until this form's not here anymore, and to be at ease with that. And each day now I get more at ease with it. I still get my buttons pressed here and there, but I say thank you. I say thank
Yes.
you. Thank you as it arises, and know that that's mine to own. It's not anyone else's. It doesn't belong to the person who pressed the buttons. It's mine. There's something in here that needs resolving.
Exactly. And I love that, because I often say to people, the point of our power is within us. It's not if you've got something in front of you that's all someone you live with or someone down the road or buttons are pressed. It's what we do with those, with that stimulus is the important part. It's how do we handle it and how do we navigate it? And I've just got to bring an oil in because, one thing is you've got to have that intention for change, but I've just got to promote the use of valor, because valor is the oil for me. When I discovered Young Living, it was the oil that
guess what, Kate?
Oh, you've got some there too. Lovely. So it's the oil. Well, it's the oil I'll put on before I go on a live if I feel agitated. And I want some settling. But to me, it's the oil that supported me to detach from things around me. Because when I first started using the oils, I was in parts of the trauma of my life, and these oils created. They gave, well, this is the oil for courage, or one of the oils for courage, and it definitely did help me shift energetically, or help me to become more conscious of ways I could respond to the stimulus or those triggers or those buttons. And I think, really, instead of trying to blame other people, yes, they mightn't be doing the right thing by us, but the point of power is in how we react or respond. And as time goes on, I'm learning to respond more and more, because when you respond, you're more likely to get the outcome, or maybe navigate the situation. Maybe you don't get the outcome you want, but for me, the outcome is, how is it affecting me in this moment? So, I think
acceptance comes into that too, doesn't it?
Yes. So we've got Tiffy saying, I absolutely agree. Valor is so comforting for so many things. So absolutely. Now,
just share the valor experience, and I'm very new to all these oils, so I'm having fun. Fun discovering them and meeting them. But the valor, that's why I smiled when you brought it out, was because I've been, I do a lot of writing and needing to shift out of, like, when I've got a person in front of me, or I'm on the screen, or I'm reading, I can easily shift over. But when you're just working with a computer and you've got to write and bring information through, sometimes it's hard to keep that focus on the two sides of the brain. I'm tuning in and then I'm typing. So I found just recently, when I was doing some writing, I put that in the diffuser, and wow, I just seemed to be taken along. It was like that, in that zone with the creative feel, and when I finished, I went, wow, I've just been so focused for so long. So it was a really, normally I would have to get up and go and have a cuppa or do something and then come back again. But it was, kept me focused is how I felt. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. And everybody who uses these oils has different experiences, and it's part of what I want to do with these beautiful conversations is hear from other people what oils you like, or what experiences they've given you. Because for me, I feel like they just give us these experiences so gently and so naturally. I feel like I could have may have needed to go and have lots of heavy duty counselling to move me beyond where I was at. But I believe these oils actually enhanced my ability to cope with what I was going through. And I think they have avoided or they've supported me to cope, and I haven't had to go and have, heavy duty or long-term counselling. Not to say that that's not the way to go. Like, we all need counselling at times. There's times where I reach out to people, or I'll work with someone like you to ride the waves, or to open the door, or to give me some clarity or insight.
I think that's what we're all doing at the moment. We're all in that zone now of connecting with each other. I'm just absolutely blown away with the people that I'm meeting here in Tassie right now in this
Yes.
few months. It's just, of course, we're coming out of the pandemic and everyone's, lifting, but there's more to that. There's it's in the stars as well. A beautiful Bridget that does her astrology in, Life from the Ground Up. She's just delightful in aligning through astrology. And then there's you with the oils, and then there's other people that are doing their own modalities of energy work or connecting in. You've got some lovely ones that I've seen in your group there that are just doing amazing stuff as well. So there's a real connectedness at the moment. That's consciousness coming through all of us in our own passions, or what we love, or what we're here for, and maybe we think we're doing it, but maybe the consciousness is doing it, through us rather than us doing it.
Well, exactly. And it is that thing of, but the important thing is to listen. And if we're, it took me, I had to really talk myself into, putting myself out there in the world, and doing what I'm doing online, and connecting with people, and even the readings I offer, and all my oil information. I really had to, give myself a good talking to, and say, there's that old saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. I think there was a lady, I think was her name Susan, who wrote, Susan Jeffers, I think, and I read that book years ago, and it was like, feel the fear and do it anyway. It's like when we first do something, we're afraid, but we've got to develop that muscle,
that trust,
which happens the more we do things. So believing in ourselves, that part of the belief in ourselves is that in the action of taking that step into whatever it is that we want to bring out into the world. And I'm in my 60s like you too. I'm very close to retiring age, and I could hang my hat up and just go for walks on the beach and potter in the garden and spend time with family. But I know that there's something else that I want to do all those things as well. But there's more to life than just surviving for me. And for some reason, I've got this inner drive to make a difference in the lives of others. And I would be saying you've actually got that going on for you too.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's about service. Once
Yes.
I think the learning, whether we're all learning. That's evident that we're all learning. This universe of ours, we learn from it, and we choose, I believe. My belief is that we choose to come and experience. I believe in reincarnation. I believe that we do experience challenges, but we pick them ourselves from a soul's perspective, and then live through them, and try and pass our exams, basically, try and do the best we can. And, I feel pretty content in myself that I'm choosing that path now, to just show up, say yes, and thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I love that. And, the more you do that, the easier it becomes. I learned to say yes, and avoid the no's, and say yes. And when you are saying yes, you are putting in yourself in the space of being open to receive. And, it might be messages, it might be, you just never know what nuggets of gold we can receive in our life. I feel truly blessed that we've got some lovely people who've joined us today. And I feel really blessed to have a sense of community around me that are on a similar path. So show up and say yes, and thank you.
Yeah.
So has
Very nice.
anyone got some questions? I love your comments. Does anyone have some questions? Let us know. How about, I do have a question. If your cards are close by, would you like to show us an example of your beautiful cards, and maybe pull a card for the collective and give us a message? Would that be possible? I probably should have pre-warned you, but they're
That's the box. That's the
yes,
box. That's what it
beautiful.
looks like. So I've
called
travelled far and wide, and you can see the cassowary because I had about 5 years in Cairns, and that's how the lovely Sonia that's on there. She's so, you rock, lovely. Thank you for all the compliments, Sonia, if you're still there. So she's a busy lady too. I'm going to shuffle these cards that are all in my hand here. So you've got the lovely gum nuts on the back. If you hop on my website, susanskyring.com, and go to the, you can read about the little artist that I got. She's a delightful lady who agreed to do the illustrations for me. What do I do with these cards today? Great Spirit. Okay. So collectively, we all get a message, with this is how I'm going to approach it. So there's so many people on there. I don't really want to, unless there's somebody that particularly wants a card, and Kay's agrees to that. But let's have a look at what the collective one is for us today.
If anyone would like a card, and maybe do you want a question with the cards, or just a yes, please, a card, please? Let's know, Susan, what you would like. So what have we got?
This is what I got here. Hop to it. So the kangaroo, that's it conceives a lot throughout its season, its yearly season, doesn't it? It has multiple babies, embryos, and it really takes off when it explodes, when there's a good season for the kangaroos. It gives birth, it gives birth regularly. So the message on it is hop to it. Kangaroo conceives and reproduces often. Give birth to your ideas. Your time has come. So that's the message for all of us. Our time has come. And to me, that also lines up with, sometimes we take sacrifices to a certain extent through our life, and the kangaroo, if she's under attack when she's carrying an embryo plus a little joey, she will sacrifice the joey and keep going because she knows that she can reproduce again. So often we go through some trauma in our life, and it's a sacrifice of the soul to grow and to learn. So if you've gone through something, it's a time to sort of look back now and say, well, I went through that. Now it's time to reproduce again. It's time. Your time has come again, okay, to do it. So there's a deeper meaning always in the cards and the behaviors of the animals. And I'm just I do a monthly forecast. I was just trying to think which was the one I got for September. I've got it here. It's the baby coal. It's interesting. I do it monthly now instead of daily and weekly. And I have to go back and look again and I pulled it out this morning because I thought I haven't really read what the last half of September I'd written a month ago. So I write about this time every month. So this week we'll be doing my forecast for October, just to share with everyone here, if you're happy with that. Okay.
Yes, that's fine.
So from the 14th, actually, I might read the whole lot. It won't take long because it's only one page.
No,
would you like me to do that?
Yes, that's fine. I'm sure we'd love to.
See if people relate. I know I need to do it myself. So I have a guidance and predictions overview. So in that, I've written, you allow all the previous influences during the last couple of months to be your teacher. You're ready to tackle a new way of life with more commitment. There's been enough contemplating of possibilities, enough thinking, feeling, and exploring new ideas. September has arrived and is the month to communicate to the universe clearly your future plans. During the following months, up until the end of the year, you'll find yourself taking action with much more ease. There are some amazingly good things to come for many of you, but just simply accepting what is and deciding to have an attitude of gratitude right now. If delays you've been feeling frustrated, please know that there will be movement forward again in your life very soon. In the meantime, do something lovingly feminine for yourself. So that was just an overview for September. I can relate. I'm hoping others can as well. So I might skip. Oh, no, I'll do it. The collective energy influences from the 1st to the 14th of September. There's a good chance that if you started something years ago and gave it up, You could now be about to revisit, resolve, or step into unfinished business of your past. I allow a new way out of my old way will be your daily mantra. Many of you will be giving birth to your next life purpose. Destiny guides you backwards and then forwards during September, a time to let light shine on any shadows from the past, stay calm and allow. So that was the first half, and we've already gone through that. And I think I can see what the cards and everything that past stuff, and I'm resolving. So from the 14th to the 31st of September, September brings with it the spring equinox and will occur on this Friday, guys, September the 23rd here in Australia. For others living in the Northern Hemisphere, it will be your autumn equinox. As the seasons change, so will you, depending on where you are on the planet. The length of day and night will be equal. You will feel that this is a special time in your life to allow your brilliant self to shine brightly and be active in the world. Or alternatively, you will feel the need to rest, retreat inwards, and regenerate. The new moon on the 26th brings an opportunity to reset your relationship goals and loving intent. Good vibes come your way. So that takes us through to the 31st of September. And then I just do a little quick one from the wildlife, which is for September. It was the baby quoll. The baby quoll leaves the mother's pouch unable to see at first. And then at first it relies on touch and the sound for protection. Listen to your own intuition and hug and touch your loved ones frequently this month. We're all been a bit deprived of that hugging and touching.
Yes.
It's really important to sort of up that now, to really get.
Well, a lot of people got scared I don't want to touch you because I might get sick. But we've got to touch each other for our health and happiness, and it's actually very good for our immune system. It's the opposite.
Yeah. And the Feng Shui. So the Feng Shui tip was springs in the air, time to clutter, open windows and let fresh air and abundance in. There was a warning, but for the Feng Shui tip was it may be easy to overspend. Make sure you're keeping your toilet lid down and the door closed. The toilet is the biggest open drain in your home. So the toilet has a natural energy draining effect in your environment, especially if it's in your wealth area. This could have you wondering why your money is going down or disappearing. So just watch your spending during that month of September. And your focus for the month, and I'm going to add an oil to this every month now. Okay?
Nice.
But the focus of the month is to be the observer as the veil of awareness is pulled back even further this month. Spend your time with others who offer positive energy exchange. Conscious awareness of your personal thoughts brings inner clarity. So that was my intention yesterday, to be conscious of our thoughts and be really aware of what we're manifesting. So thank you for letting me share that.
Oh, my pleasure. And we've got some nice comments. Absolutely. Time to get close again. Funny that hearts begin to connect at 1.5 meters within each other. Interesting. And Sonia's said every moment of every moment is a chance. I love that, Sonia. We'll have to get you on the show because you were agreeing with things. Let's know.
She does. It's got some really interesting life experiences that I won't say anything yet, but she knows how to connect with the nature spirits.
Oh, fantastic. So do you actually see fairies and things like that? Do you see in spirit as well as...
Oh, yeah, sometimes I can. Yeah, sometimes I can. I get a lot of the clairvoyance vision that comes in when I'm doing a reading is more I can see loved ones in spirit. I might see what they're doing, or they'll show me a symbol that over the years I've got lots of symbols that come through now, and I believe that comes from the consciousness. It's a collective consciousness that brings that to me, which maybe guides if we want to separate that energy, but they're just labels now. To me, it's just one consciousness that it all comes in. And the same with the nature spirits. If I'm blessed with seeing colours around plants and animals, but the messages come, okay, and that's what's I'm just humbled by, the messages I get and the way the cards are going with people now, and the feedback I'm getting from people that when they pick their daily card from the wildlife and it's got a message or this last week I had last week she's like, what's going on? Oh my God, I keep getting the same card, the same animal, and I even messed them up because I thought it was the way I was shuffling, and it turns out that, you know, it was a really strong message for her. She knew that she had to focus. It was a scrub turkey who's building the nest, and they seasonally build the nests from, you know, September through to March, and she's on a project for her family at the moment, you know, to build the project, and she knew she needed to stay focused on it, not let anything distract her. So, and the male scrub turkey does that in that season. He doesn't let anything focus until he's got that job done, you know. So that was her message. And so, yeah, so they are lining up with people with what they need for the day. And obviously there's people on here that are needed to hear Hop to It today from the kangaroos. So.
Well, what have we got? Which really aligns with, well, come on, we've been talking about stepping out into your courage and just feeling the fear and doing it, and just saying yes, opening. So that's all that anchoring in that, you know, possibility for any of us to move forward with a positive mindset and taking some action, because, you know, I often see people who, you know, you'll see it on your shows, and the same people will come in and ask the same questions. And then I'll get to a point where I say, well, what have you actually done? If you're going to get advice from people, what are you actually going to do? Because we're quite happy to encourage and hopefully inspire other people, but it's not up to us to do that work, to do that. I always use the words, you know, take a step. What's that step in the direction? So if you are feeling that, you know, you want to connect with Susan, there's her website. You can book her in for a session. You can connect with the oils through Susan or myself. Also, Dolly Bailey asked for a card reading.
I just got hers. I was reading it while you were talking. I think I'll shuffle Dolly, and what I got was this one, Dolly. So the Sugar Glider, take a leap of faith. Gorgeous little sugar glider says, it dares to glide great distances. Have faith in yourself, Dolly.
And Dolly? I love that. And the sugar glider is, you know, to do that flying, you've got to leave where you are and move into where you want to go. And, you know, I think we all get caught up in this, oh, my God, I'm going to make a mistake. What are people going to think about us? Well, it doesn't really matter what other people think. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake. I mean, we're all forgiving people or understanding. We all, you know, we all have compassion. And so I really think that, you know, there are no wrongs. We just learn from our experiences. And often talk about, you know, little children or us when we learn to walk, we take a couple of steps and we fall over and we get back up again. I mean, life's really like that. And we've been doing it since the day dot. So why do we, you know, we get caught up as we go into adulthood with our adult thoughts. So I love it, Susan, how you focused and nature and close observation. It's fantastic, isn't it, Dolly? So yes, Jess, they are beautiful cards. So yes, reach out to Susan and connect with her. You've got a page on Facebook as well.
Yeah, Skyring Messages is the page. Yeah. It's a funny thing with Facebook at the moment. It's doing all sorts of things. I don't know which page I'm on half the time. It's called Susan Skyring Messages.
There you go. So if you just look at, and it's probably all linked on your website anyway, is it?
Yeah, if they just see me, Susan Skyring, I'm basically trying to get everything going across on both at the moment, but it's sometimes a challenge.
Well, it is a challenge, and we're just learning. We're just putting one foot in front of the other, and we're supporting each other. So,
for sure.
Now one last question: is there another oil that you have loved out of the collection that you have so far?
Frankincense and lavender. Yeah, lavender sits by my bed every night. I just love the lavender. It's probably the best one. I've always used lavender because my mother did, but the Young Living one, I just can't top it. You know, anything that I've used, it's just a beautiful lavender. And the frankincense is lovely as well. And I'm trying with Lang at the
Okay.
moment too. That was, that
Nice.
was sort of like to lift up a little bit of interconnectedness with relationships. Is what I felt.
Oh,
The
nice.
oil's talking to me, Kay, and it's really interesting. It's similar to what I went through when I learnt. I sat with spirit, learning the cards out in the desert. It was out from Longridge, and day in, day out, I'd go out and just sit and get the messages for the cards. The same's happening with the oils, is that and then when I went to the books, it lined up. The pentacles were about money and in the material world, and now I'm lining up with the essential oils, and they're talking to me what they're about, and then I'm going and looking up your book, the books, and
Yes.
getting
Yes.
some research on it. So, and it's lining up. It's sort of like I'm asking, which one do I need for this, and I'll muscle test my own body, and if it's strong, I'll go that way. If it's a bit weak, I'll move on. Which one's the best for me? And yeah, it's just working through and trusting again. It's just working with that divine presence that's always with me, to guide me to what's powerful, and it's very lines up with what's written in the books often. So that's always
That's so exciting.
flows
I
me
love
away.
that. I
That
love that,
stuff.
and I really value you being part of our community, because I think you've got a lot of richness and a lot of what you're bringing to the table and bringing to our community. So
Yeah, and
thank you
that's
very much
it's a
for
pleasure.
coming on. Now, if there was a final message you wanted to give to the audience, is there anything that you might think, that just words of encouragement to help people to just step into that, take that step?
So
Pardon?
much. But there's so much I would love to say, but just to notice what you react to. If you're reacting in a way that weakens you, know that there's some inner work to be looked at there, and some love offered, and the love will come through that divine presence, that understanding that you are part of something bigger. You're not on your own. You're never on your own. You're always connected to something bigger, and it can be your best friend, that intelligence that is always present. It's what's permanent. There's nothing permanent about our lives or our physical, but there's permanence in that is within us. So have comfort in that. And be really, I guess the second message would be to be really the observer of your thoughts, because whatever we're thinking, we're manifesting in some way, or we're creating. So to align your thoughts with what it is that you desire. So you're in that flow of creativity that you desire, not the limited, not the limited self that believes in separation, I guess. Yeah. Try
I love that.
stay connected to the ones that we call it the tribe now, don't we? It's a new age word now. Find your tribe, the
Yes,
ones that
that's it.
you feel inspired with, and that uplift you with everything that when you come in contact with them. Allow their presence to enhance your presence, and you enhance theirs. It's what's that old saying? The teacher and the student meet. The teacher becomes a better teacher with the student, and the student becomes the teacher for the. Oh, you know what I mean. I haven't got it the
Oh,
right way.
I love that. And it's like, even when you're a parent and you have children, I think, one of my things is my children taught me so much.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one of the key things they taught me was to be able to say no. And it took me a long time to realize that they could see, can you help me wash the dishes, or would you do this? No, or their inaction was in the no. And, I'd be running around like a mother doing everything as you do. And then, it took me a long time, not until two teenagers and two younger kids, that I kind of went, oh, I actually can say no. I don't have to. And kids can just say no without any emotional sort of thing about it. It's just, no, don't do that. And
I've got a good one there for you. Okay, I was a single mum with teenagers for a while too, so I understand it, and I can remember getting the words come to me when they were wanting something and I had to say no, that
Mm.
when I did say no and they would be quite upset about it because someone else was allowed to in their family, I'd say, well, you chose me as
Yes.
your mother. You chose me as your mother. So, this is how it's going to be. It was a good sort of like a little payback for all their not being able to
It
get
is
what they
what
want.
it is, and just
Yeah.
handle it.
Yeah. And they've all grown up into lovely, lovely men now. And I'm
Yes.
just very proud of them. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Susan and I have opposites because she's got 4 boys and I've got 4 girls. So that,
Mm.
yeah, that great dynamic of Virgin getting the families together. That'd be interesting. More than interesting, probably.
I got blessed with also bringing up 2 girls. So, that was a blessing as well. So it's like
Nice. Oh,
I mightn't
wow.
have given birth to them, but I feel I have. So, yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Well, I have a stepson. I didn't have to do much bringing up with him, but we are very close as if he is my
Yeah.
son. So it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Been
So
most
I'm
enjoyable, eh?
Yeah,
We've
so we've had a good time. So how do you think you've gone for your first time to do something like this? You've done all right, haven't you?
You're such an inspiration to why am I not doing these streaming? Because I know so many people that could be offering so much outward to. So yeah, you're my inspiration to learn this and to keep offering, keep being of service. So yeah,
Oh,
just
that's
learning all
wonderful.
this technology.
Yes. So look, thank you for taking up the offer, and I look forward to having more conversations up the track with you. And I think you and I are even going to do a bit of doing some readings together at some point. We haven't
Yeah,
got to that point, so this is
I'd
our
love
first.
if anyone's on there today and they really wanted, us to do a live with readings and that, I'm happy to do that. Happy to be with Kay and do that if you'd like to just
Beautiful.
let us know.
Well, you could even come and join us in my Kay's Essential Oil Wisdom group on Facebook. Maybe that would be a good place to start. I go live every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. So anyway, we can.
I'm
Oh,
out
that's
on
right. It's not your thing. So that's okay. We will organise another time. So,
I'm the lark, you're the owl. The owl's awake at night time, the lark's sort of awake in the morning, really early. Sometimes I'm up at 3 or 4, that's my meditation time and that. So, and then I like to, use that time at night time for family if I can as well.
beautiful. That's great.
But we're
So
all
thank
lines.
you, everyone, for joining us, because without you, we wouldn't have a purpose to be here. And for those people who are listening far and wide to the radio, please reach out and find Susan at susanskyring.com. I am khamilton.com. And you can reach out to either of us and have a chat. And Karen Cunningham, well done, Susan. You're a natural. Absolutely. So she's been,
Karen,
and that's what I think
Karen's
is just.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Karen's just opened her metaphysical Launceston shop. If anyone's Launceston hasn't come in contact with that, it's at Karen. Let's see if I can get it right. 2222 Wellington Street in Launceston, and she's got all metaphysical, so many tarot cards, so many crystals. And she does the flowers as well, so you can get flowers for your loved ones there. So yeah, pop in and see her because and I think she's also got some rooms available for readers as well. I know some of the girls are going to be doing readings there as well.
Maybe we could do some oil workshops there.
Yeah, that's right. So
Nice.
great little space. I went in on Sunday for her opening, and it was just lovely to spend some time.
Great. I look forward to coming to Launceston and checking out your shop.
Yeah, check it out. Check out the shop.
Yes.
Good
and
one. She's there.
Fantastic. So this is what it's all about, connecting with community, and we love and appreciate everyone who's been with us here for this beautiful time together. So our message is to take that step into courage, and if you need a little bit of help along the way, you can reach out to Susan and have a reading, or reach out to me, whoever you feel you resonate with. If you have not got some Young Living oils yet and you would like some Young Living oils, yeah, reach out and we will get you right in the program with getting some oils into your home so you too can raise your vibrations, which is what it's all about, and open your consciousness so that you feel happy, content, and you have some beautiful well-being tools to have in your home so that you can look after yourself and your family. And Karen says, oh, she loves the idea of oil workshops. So we will be reaching out to you, Karen, and let's get some of that happening.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody. From my heart to your heart, go forth and be the powerful person that you can. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thanks, Susan. I've really enjoyed this.
Bye, everyone.